Alrighty, testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Hello there, everyone. My name is Emilio. Welcome to my channel. It is 2 a.m. in the morning. I just saw the Odyssey like an hour and a half ago. I saw the movie at 9:40. Now, by the time I got out of the movie theater, it was like 1:20. And it's like, what time is it right now? It's 2:08. So let me just talk about this movie as quickly as possible. I don't want to talk too much, and I don't want to bore you, the viewer, if you're watching this. But I just want to give you my review of The Odyssey. It's the latest Christopher Nolan epic that just came out. It has a huge cast. You got like Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway, Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson is in this film. You also have another actor. I forget his name, but I have an image of him somewhere here on the screen, and I got his name. He's actually a big part of this movie. You got John Leguizamo. It's a huge movie. It has a huge cast. It's a Christopher Nolan film, so he relies on shooting this movie on 7mm IMAX, so it looks beautiful as fuck, and it relies on using a lot of practical effects. So yeah, it's a Christopher Nolan movie. It's the latest big epic blockbuster to come out this year, and this summer has been very lackluster when it comes to summer spectacles. Will Christopher Nolan save the summer? I don't know. But anyways, I'm just here to talk about the movie and geek out and nerd out because I like talking about movies. Let me start with what I liked about the film. One, I am a fan of Christopher Nolan's aesthetic and style. Like I said, he likes shooting movies on practical effects. He loves the 70mm IMAX. This is the first film to ever be shot entirely on like IMAX cameras. So that was cool. The only thing I can say is that I didn't watch the movie in IMAX. I just saw it in regular standard viewing. So maybe that's like a problem with me. I gotta go watch this movie like on a better... I need to watch it in IMAX for sure. If you're a person who's gonna go see this movie, don't cheap out and watch it in a standard movie theater. I'm not saying go watch the movie in IMAX, but definitely go watch the movie like in like a Limax. An IMAX, of course, if you possibly can go, but most theaters don't have a real IMAX, so go watch it in IMAX. Watch it in Cinemark XD or watch it in Dolby Atmos. Don't watch the standard showing. I think you're losing out on the experience if you do that. But I do like the look and style of the movie, and I like a good majority of the performances. All the actors do mostly a great job in the movie. Matt Damon does a great job. It's kind of cool to see him in a movie like this. You know, he used to be like a lead actor, like with movies like the Bourne trilogy, and of course he was like in Good Will Hunting and films like The Departed, but he hasn't really been in many big movies in a while, so it's cool to see him in this movie. I mean, he has been in Christopher Nolan films, but he hasn't been the lead, so it's cool to see him as the lead here. Anne Hathaway also does a great job. Charlize Theron is in this movie. Beautiful to look at, does a great job. A lot of the actors do a great job, and I will say there are two actors in this movie that are a little bit controversial, which is Elliot Page and Lupita Nyong'o. A lot of people are going crazy because they're in this movie. I will say they do a good job in the movie. When it comes to the two actors that are not good in this movie, it's not those two. You know, Lupita and Elliot Page, they're only in the movie for like maybe 4 or 7 minutes. And I will say they do a good job in the movie. They're great. Mia Goth also has like a small ass role in this movie. She's pretty good. Robert Pattinson is good at playing a piece of shit. He's a huge piece of shit in this film, but Robert Pattinson is doing, like, he's obviously enjoying being a piece of shit in this movie. So Robert Pattinson, also, he's just one of those actors that, he's one of my current favorite actors right now. You know, the Batman. He's also in Tenet, you know, Good Time. Robert Pattinson has kind of shown that he's a great actor, and he does a good job at playing, like, the villain or the antagonist of this film. All the acting's great, and yeah, from a technical standpoint, you know it's a Christopher Nolan film. You know it's gonna look great, and I'm definitely gonna go watch this movie again, like in Limax. I'm thinking about going to watch the movie in 70mm IMAX, but I'm probably not gonna do that because after watching the movie, I don't really feel like driving 2 hours to go watch this movie like in 70mm IMAX. Like, as much as I really want to, given me watching the movie, I don't know. I'd rather watch a movie like Interstellar in 70mm IMAX. And there are some cool scenes in this film, alright? There's like that battle scene, like there's like the scene where, you know, the Trojan horse goes into like the city of Troy. You see different moments. You don't see the entire fall of Troy, and the movie like shows you images of it, but it doesn't show you the whole thing until the very end. Those scenes are good to watch. They're tense and they're also brutal, and those are some cool scenes. There are some cool, when it comes to action sequences, there's like one action scene, I'll just say that is at the very end of the movie. I don't even think it is in the original story this film is based on. It was a pretty badass scene. It was a great crowd cheering moment. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to spoil the movie, but I think Christopher Nolan has definitely taken liberties with this story and the mythology and kind of adapted it to be a Christopher Nolan movie. I love like the final battle scene. It gets a little bit ridiculous and a little bit unbelievable, but it worked for the movie. The movie has like a great ending. I definitely actually really love the last 40 minutes of the movie. Like that's where the movie worked. That's where the movie got emotional. That's where I felt like the huge epic climax. That's where I felt like, oh wow, this movie really is building up to something pretty cool, pretty badass, and pretty fun to watch. So I love some of the action scenes. There's like a storm sequence in this movie that is a little bit tense, and it's like just people that are on a boat and they're in this storm, and the only thing you see is like candlelight, and you see like lightning. And like I said, I saw this movie not in IMAX. I saw it in a standard movie theater with standard surround sound, but like I felt like I was like in that storm. So that was a cool scene. So the movie has like some really cool creative battle scenes, and has some cool action scenes. And also, all the performances are good, and the movie is very, very much well made. The thing that I'm a little bit disappointed at the movie is two actors that come to mind. Number one, John Bernthal is in this film. John Bernthal is John Bernthal. He's not like the best actor. Like he doesn't transform like Daniel Day-Lewis, and that's okay. When you put him in the right role, like in The Punisher, or in Daredevil season 2, he's great as the Punisher, especially in Daredevil season 2. And he's also like the best character in The Walking Dead, even though he's only in like 2 seasons. So John Bernthal, when you put him in the right role, it works. But when you put him in the Odyssey, it just took me out of the movie. All right, like John Bernthal is just John Bernthal. You know, let me tell you something, man. He's John Bernthal in everything. He's John Bernthal here. It's fun to watch him, but like I wasn't seeing him play the character. I was seeing him, John Bernthal, just be John Bernthal. And another actor that I will say is Tom Holland. I like Tom Holland. It's just that he kind of, the way he was acting was just weird. It's like Christopher Nolan wanted Timothée Chalamet to be in this movie, but he couldn't get Timothée Chalamet, so he had to get Tom Holland instead. And it was just weird and jarring. I'm not saying Timothée Chalamet is a better actor than Tom Holland, but like, you know, Timothée Chalamet acts in a certain way, especially like in the Dune films. I kind of feel like that's what he wanted, but he got Tom Holland instead, so whatever. Tom Holland, I don't know. I just didn't see the characters in this movie. I just kind of just saw the actors playing dress up. The rest of the actors, I think, do a really good job. The other one thing I'll say is a thing that kind of like, I was a little bit disappointed. It comes to like the fantasy scenes. Like when you come to the story, when you hear about the story of the Odyssey, you hear about like the giant, you know, with the one eye, and you have like those huge giants that aren't wearing the armor. You have like the witch in the film. In fact, the witch in this film is actually the best scene. And you also have like the sirens, like the women. Christopher Nolan is a filmmaker who likes to put his movies like in a grounded reality. The thing is, the Odyssey is not a grounded reality. It is like a fantasy. And that's why I'm okay with him like recasting certain characters or like changing the story. But when it comes to making a movie that is like a fantasy, you need to make the fantastical elements feel fantastical. What do I mean by this? I mean, you know, you have filmmakers like Gore Verbinski making movies like Pirates of the Caribbean. This is like a movie that's not realistic. But the world that this movie creates feels real. Like, you know what you're watching isn't real, but it feels real. And you buy like ghost pirates. You buy like in the sequels, like the giant octopus attacking the boat, or what's the name of the villain in the second movie? You know, this villain right here. Like, you believe this squid man is talking to Johnny Depp, and you just buy it. Or like the Lord of the Rings movies, like, you know, these are like fantasy epics, but they feel like they're in a realistic world. But Peter Jackson doesn't shy away from using CGI when he needs to, like when it comes to a giant spider or when it comes to Gollum. You need to make the fantastical feel fantastical, and that's what these movies do very well. I kind of feel like Christopher Nolan tried making the fantasy elements of this story feel realistic, but to me, personally, left more to be desired. But anyways, that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to stop because I can see that my camera is actually about to die of battery. I do want to say more. I might make like a long-ass podcast. I might just dump it here. Just me geeking out and talking about the Odyssey for like an hour, because it is a movie that I don't think it's perfect. It definitely is flawed, but it is a Christopher Nolan movie. It has some great moments. I do recommend watching this movie if you are a fan of Christopher Nolan's films and Christopher Nolan's work. Watch this movie, like I said, on like a decent screen. Don't cheap out. And yeah, also if you're a person who is completely into Greek mythology and you're into like history and you're into like this story, you're probably gonna hate this movie. That's all. That's all I gotta say. Anyways, my name's Emilio. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, have a great night. If you made it to the end of this video, let me know, what did you think of the Odyssey. Bye.